Hi, Love is Always the Way family. Welcome to the Love is Always the Way story and the messages for July 2022. I hope this month finds you well and that you navigated all of the things that June had to offer with ease and grace. I am certainly glad to be out of Mercury retrograde. We went headfirst into Saturn retrograde right after that, which can cause its own share of upsets and blockages in our actions and subsequent rewards. So I don't know about you, but I am definitely missing the energy of April when there were no retrogrades and things were full steam ahead. Everything in and on divine time though, right? And Saturn is ever the taskmaster for better and for worse, which is kind of funny, not funny. The beauty is that when he rewards richly, always making the work and then development worthwhile. So hang in there. If you are still facing some energetic challenges, I've reminded myself many times lately to go with the flow as much as possible, to continue to trust the unfolding, to make lists, and just take things one step at a time. As a Virgo, those latter two things have helped me greatly. I feel like an organized brain makes for an organized life, and I function so much better with some routine and structure at the base. And then I can free flow like a mofo at the top. Just remember that retrogrades are about all of the RE words and actions you can possibly think of. So keep that in mind as you figure out what kind of RE needs to happen for you right now. I'm always curious to see what the energy of our next month holds and excited to see what tone the cards are going to set. For July, 3 Love is Always the Way Oracle cards came out with the pull. And I honestly could have done an entire storyline on just these 3 because I feel like they fit together perfectly and have so much to say. So they are. Drum roll, please. Heal with love, deep love, and love is infinite wisdom. To me, the message out of the chute is that we are in a time of healing deeply. The healing is deep, and so is the work. And there is always infinite wisdom in the process of all of it. This is also a natural follow-up fit to the message of June, which started with love from afar. We were told it was time to get quiet and gather some perspective, so it's really no surprise that this is the next phase of the journey. I'm also reminded that when we come out the other side of a period of deep healing work, we are always wiser, with a greater perspective that is tapped into the whole of universal consciousness and understanding. One of the things I noticed right away is that all 3 of these cards have blue in them. So throat chakra vibes and also a strong undercurrent of communication within the healing process is present right now. Whether that is being honest with yourself or finding a way to safely express your needs to others, there needs to be some release. Lean in and reach out for the support that you need to do the work and heal. I heard something the other day that reminded me that if we carry unnecessary burdens, responsibilities, energy, weight, heartbreak, or hardship without moving it through the process of feeling our feelings and letting the things go that are no longer serving us, a lot of not so good stuff can manifest inside and out. Spiritual hygiene is as important as physical hygiene. To truly heal, surrender, and release is ultimately so liberating, and it allows us to move forward with so much more lightness, agility, and flow, so we can continue to do the work that each of our souls is called up to do in this lifetime. You don't want to block your path and opportunities by not doing the work. Love is at the core of each of these cards and every message in the Love is Always the Way Oracle deck and in life. So love is also a key component of this deep healing process right now. Don't forget that the wisdom that love offers in its purest form is enlightening and helps to soften so many of life's rough edges. These second 2 cards have a lot of water energy, so emotion within this process is also at hand. Not surprising, because doing the real healing work brings up a lot from the depths, as it should. We've got to feel it to move it. Emotions come and go, but they do not define who we are at the core. They are signals that help us navigate not only our internal world, but the external one as well. Because there was so much water and emotion in these first cards, I felt drawn to a more shamanic earth energy and animals to develop the follow-up from there. I have to admit that animals have been on my mind a lot lately for several reasons, but they were calling my name extra to do this work, so it may be a little bit over the top, but I pulled from a few of my spirit animal decks, and of course, they delivered. Speaking of infinite wisdom, they have it in spades. I started with the Shamanic Healing Oracle by Michelle Motzfus, hopefully I'm not butchering her name, to pull in the first layer of grounding and to offer our next level of perspective. I wasn't really tuning into the fact that there is the word healing in the name of the deck until I pulled a card and I needed to double check to make sure I wasn't looking at the back. Because I pulled card number 20, which said healing energy. That's right. Healing upon healing upon healing. We are in it big time. Card number 20 in the tarot is the Judgment card, which has many meanings, but one of my favorites is letting go, which fits so beautifully into what I was just saying a bit ago about not holding on to what is no longer serving. In the description of this card, Michelle reminds us to work with energy to do the healing work. She says, with the healing energy of divine love, you do not have to know how to do anything. Just sit quietly, set your intention, and let the Creator's love fill you up. I love this because it reminds me that we are already whole and each imperfectly perfect. Plus, sometimes just sitting quietly in non-action is the work. There is always this nuanced push-pull in life, knowing when to hold them and when to fold them. And so often, if we're not listening to our intuition and guidance, we make the wrong move at the wrong time. She also says when you're living in a vibration of healing, you not only affect yourself, but those around you. Others can then connect with your energy, and their vibrations can rise as a result. There is no force to this. This is basically how energy works. Your vibrational charge will affect change in the others you are close to. When you heal yourself, you heal the whole. It's all part of the ripple effect, which is part of the reason I chose the concept of a drop of water rippling out in the Love is Infinite Wisdom card, because everything is ultimately connected and ties together. One thing affects the next, cause and effect. Michelle also says at the end, alternatively, this card signifies healing is taking place within a relationship. And in numerology, when you add it down, 20 becomes 2, which is the number of partnership and connection. So there might be a little something here for you when it comes up for healing this month in a relationship. So just keep that in mind. From there, I jumped to Stephen D. Farmer's deck, Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides. And the card that came out to support our ongoing energy thread for July was the Walrus card, with the immediate message, remain vigilant about the current situation, pay attention to signs and omens, and let them dictate your choices. So with that said, the current energy situation is deep healing. It's what's on the agenda. And the Walrus reminds us that the path is always lit. And to the point of Michelle's healing energy card, everything is energy, and we need to tune into the higher vibration energy for guidance. It is always there. I spoke about the quiet under the quiet last month, so if you didn't catch that, go back and take a listen. The messages are always relevant, and when you hear them is when they're on point for you. And this is important because so much of the direction that we yearn for is more than one layer deep. And also to Michelle's shamanic point, we have to get quiet to listen. Even if abstaining from busy makes us uncomfortable in the short term, still got to do it. It also helps to remind myself that sometimes Spirit speaks through my personal filter, meaning in a way that I understand, with the words that I myself use and images that make sense to me, so I can ultimately understand, interpret, and trust the message. Energy doesn't lie, and the tools to communicate are as wide and as varied as we are. Stephen tells us that signs show up in all ways, and as specific, as detailed as we need. I've had moments where I have had to say to Spirit, I need that louder and more obvious. So don't hesitate to ask for more and bigger. They will deliver, I promise. Repetition often offers further validation, so pay attention to all of the little details and synchronicities, and don't second guess yourself when you get an initial hit. Stephen says, if you don't get clear signs right away, keep your questions or concern in your consciousness for the next few days. Going back to our listening card from last month, just make sure you are in the process of active listening. And if at first you don't see, hear, or understand, ask again, and then get to the quiet underneath the quiet. So much of the rich data we actually need to heal is in the fertile deep if we just take the time and have the fortitude and patience to access it. Stephen reminds us to look at our angel animal spirit guides as well. I have done a very powerful animal spirit guided meditation, which I found extremely helpful, and I will post the link to it below. I would highly recommend that you guys check it out. And if you do it, let me know and post your spirit animals in the comments. I would love to hear. Mine are a bear, a black jaguar, and a white dove. Just looking at the walrus makes me think of that expression, long in the tooth. And in my weird way, it made me think that healing is a long game. It takes time and commitment. So don't get discouraged. A walrus is in and out of the water. And in this card, he is on a piece of land. So symbolically, we need to balance our emotions with groundedness and earth energy. Also note the blue behind him. Again, ties in, for me at least, how communication is key this month and in this process of deep healing. Seems to be the day for W's, because from there, I pulled the Wombat Spirit from the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. Colette tells us that the Wombat Spirit reminds you to be truly at home in the world. You need to find comfort within your own skin. You need to do this by accepting all your experience without judgment. Judgment, back to card number 20 in the tarot. Through a deep, deep honesty and love of life. Sounds a lot like deep healing, doesn't it? Do the work to get to a point of ease, comfort in your own skin, soul, mind, body, and heart. It is so worth it. She also talks a lot about home and how being plugged into that is a trait of the wombat. It reminded me that home is truly within each of us. It is the beacon that guides us and returns us back to love over and over again. And that is also the source that is rich within for healing. She also touches on authenticity. And I believe that when we do the deep healing work, when we get in touch with that infinite wisdom, it won't let you do anything less than be authentic. Then when you are operating from that space, you're really cooking on your soul's higher path, in tune with destiny and bringing your unique and beautiful gifts to the world. Colette's card has a lot of green and a green gem in the spot of the third eye chakra on the wombat, which to me reminds us that everything requires heart and love, especially healing and seeing the higher spiritual truth through love and heart. Next, 2 cards came out from Frederick Calandini's Spirit Animal Oracle. Rinse and repeat on spirit animals. I wasn't kidding. His cards have a much more electric feel in their design, or you can look at it as the energy around each animal is a field of light, which I personally love a lot because we all actually have that. The background color on these cards is green. So again, tying into the heart chakra energy. And of course, the love is always the way energy at all times. The first card is the ladybug, which is good luck. And the main message is you are right on track. Good things are coming down the road. Oh, snap. Isn't that just the best validation and confirmation that all of this healing work is going to be worth it in the end? And we are all on the right path to higher consciousness, even by just setting a higher intention to heal. Frederick's ladybug has a similar message to Stephen's walrus. The ladybug invites you to pay attention to any synchronicities in your life. Synchronicities are like breadcrumbs that guide and tell us we are on the right track. Keep up your current direction, follow the signs, and you will eventually arrive at a safe destination. Heal, baby, heal. I love his use of the word safe as well. Words are my jam, and that word means everything. The second card that came out was the squirrel with the message organization. And at this point, I kind of chuckled because I have needed so much extra of it myself lately. And I'm already starting from a fairly high baseline, honestly, as a Virgo. Plus, I mentioned it at the beginning of the story message. So there is something to this energy of finding balance, of just being in the space of healing and also putting some legs under it, which to me indicates there are some places that effort is called for and will pay off. It makes me think that for some of us, if we don't put conscious intent and subsequent action into play, we may not actually do the necessary work, and healing through is always the way. So you don't want to miss the call up for an even better, healthier, and greater life. Frederick's message about the squirrel is this. The spirit of the squirrel is an expert at organizing, planning, and preparing. If it is coming to you right now, it is because you may benefit from its great skills. Overthinking and making too many plans can prevent you from going with the flow, but a bit of structure and anticipation never harms. This makes me think that we're at a tipping point of where the rubber hits the road, and we need to have a commitment and a plan, even if it's to do nothing and sit in the space. Sometimes that's one of my favorite things to do, by the way, to feel and to heal. I often have to make a plan to meditate, so I am sure to carve out the time of my day and clear my schedule and actually do it. Frederick reminds us that having a plan and some organization doesn't mean rushing, but it means to look at your resources and then make thoughtful decisions based on a combination of data and intuition. That is really the magic sauce combination for so many things in life. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So both of those energies are always at play in this lifetime. Remember, in the wrestling match of our minds and daily life, intuition always rules. It will never steer you wrong. You can move forward with confidence and clear intent if you are listening. Plan, baby, plan, and heal, baby, heal. All things that are close to my Virgo heart and what I truly wish for you. I wanted to ground all of this energy in even further, so I looked to the Sacred Earth Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno and Leela J. Williams. Whoop, there it is. Potential. How beautifully does this tie into the energy and the messages we have received thus far? Without even reading the description, but hearing the word and looking at the image, I feel that the potential is there for all of us to heal with love, with and in deep love, to tap into the guidance that love is an infinite source and has infinite wisdom. The image also reminds me of the idea of the inner self, perhaps even the inner child within each of us, the wounded parts of us, looking out tentatively to another way, another world, the one that the healing will bring forth. It's a vulnerable space, no doubt about it. It takes courage. Love is brave, and so are you, darling. Tony and Leela tell us through the earthly meaning of this card that all energy can be harnessed in a myriad of ways. Just as elite athletes learn to use nervous energy to better their performance, it is up to you to draw on the energy stored in a negative experience to fuel your motivation, determination, or creativity. Use whatever life sends your way to your advantage. You can sit on this potential within you, or you can release it. It is your choice. This is not a matter of circumstance, ability, or worthiness. Convert a possibility into a reality. Word, word, word. Healing and depth and wisdom can be your reality. It goes to what I said earlier about moving things through so that the yuck stuff doesn't clog up your current life and prevent you from living your great, amazing life and being your best self today and in any given moment. I always think we spend our lives healing the damage and the life experiences that are not so positive from 0 to 18. It's kind of funny, not funny. And I also now have a better understanding that we all bring in baggage from our previous lives that we need to clear to evolve spiritually as a soul as well. But there is always possibility and potential when we do the work, and I love that. You have the power. I love how they remind us to use everything as fuel. I'm sure we can all agree we each have plenty. Too bad we can't use that to bring gas prices down right now. Basically, burn off what no longer serves and keep what does. It's a matter of filtering and cultivation. About the spiritual meaning of this card, they say, through grace and love, we continue to transform. Nothing we do is lost or forgotten. As we release our hidden potentials, we create our destiny. Goddess bless and hallelujah to that. I am in for it, and I hope you are too. Finally, I pulled out my gorgeous Wisdom of the Sacred Bee Oracle by Kelly Burton. Love, 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 love this deck. The card that came out right away was Breakthrough. It broke through. What a perfect way to wrap up this story message for July. If we do the work and trust the potential, then the breakthrough will come. Kelly says, you are right where you need to be. Stay the course and there will be a healing leap for you. You no longer have to reside in a house of mirrors. Breaking through the mirror will reveal the truth to you. I think we almost need a moment of silence for the depth in that alone right there. Again, the background of this card is blue and a lot of really gorgeous, powerful blue. So the throat chakra energy is still very present and communication is key. I also think it's important to focus on the fact that the bee is busting a move, breaking through the barrier. And in some cases, to Kelly's point of falsehood, and doing it with determination, courage, and knowingness that there is more and better on the other side of anything that is holding you back and not doing the healing work that you're being called up to do right now. Ring-a-ling-a-ling. It's the universe on line 20. Are you going to take the call? It is often hard and painful without a doubt, but it's always so worth it, I promise. And I speak from a ton of experience. As Kelly says, the catharsis of a breakthrough is like shattering a mirror of falsehoods that were holding you back. It's a freeing experience that can mean a leap in consciousness and growth. If you are on the verge of a breakthrough, don't stop now. You are fast approaching a new phase. She puts this card under the element of air, which has its challenging aspects at times. Things may feel messy or chaotic. Friendly reminder, again, to have a bit of a plan. But ultimately, it's about processing, and healing is a process. which then leads to a further space of transcendence. And it's worth repeating, as she says, to take a leap in consciousness and growth. I am for sure in for that, and I hope you are too. So let's sum it all up for July 2022. Heal, baby, heal. Time is right, and it is here. Depth is always where it's at. Release the fear, be brave, and go for it. Dive in. It will always pay off, even through the perception of pain. Feel your feelings. I think that message is on rinse and repeat every month. Wink, wink. So listen up and pay attention. It's coming through consistently for a reason. Let that shit go. Release all of the things that are no longer serving you. I'm not saying that any of this happens overnight or that it's easy, but as the June Love is Always the Way story message told us, get support where you need it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Lean in and reach out. When you commit to the process, make a plan and do the work. What is on the other side of that is infinite wisdom, and therefore tapping into higher consciousness and spirit. Healing is an ongoing process, and it can be a long game, but that is not a reason to not get the process started. Just take it one step at a time. Animals, animals, animals. Tune in. Make an effort to find your animal spirit guides and let them inform you and support you. From my own experience, it's so magical. Also, stop, look, and listen to the animals around you in the earthly world. What more can you learn from watching them, from listening to them, from tuning into their frequencies? They are rich with data and inspiration. We live in a space of infinite potential, so tap into source. Follow the breadcrumbs, whatever they look like for you, those signs and synchronicities. Your path is always lit, especially when you tune in through your third eye. It's what's on the menu with a side serving of love and heart. Remember that love is always the way. It is around you, happening in everything, everywhere, at all times. So pay attention and once again, listen. There is that word again. It opens you up to so much more than you can even imagine and that you're currently experiencing, and it changes everything. Phew, that was a lot. I hope you were able to find some inspiration, clarity, and direction in everything that came through. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, so let's definitely keep the conversation going. I would be ever so grateful for your likes and shares if all of this resonated with you or even some of it. All of the decks used in this story will be listed below. And I am sending you so much love for a healing, deep, and wise July.